Well, the market's looking extremely good now, 17,700 back on the Nifty. We have a bunch of mid-caps surging as we speak. Oberoi Realty is one which has moved to the high point of trade. All through today's trading session, we've seen good gains come into L&T Finance Holdings and BHEL. But joining that list now are Aditya Birla Capital as well as India Mart, both of them at the high point of trade. So it's really a day where the index is doing well, but the mid-cap index is actually outshining that. Does that continue as we move towards the expiry hour as well? Jay Thakkar joins in to give us his view on the index as well as individual stocks. Jay.
Hi, very good afternoon to you, Mangalam and everyone. Well, I would say that in today's monthly expiry rather, I would say that Nifty has taken a good support in the region of 17,600, 650. I mean, that's very important, critical as well, because if you see, Mangalam, then in yesterday's trading session too, we saw Nifty manage to close above the levels of 17,600 and Bank Nifty above the levels of 39,000. I mean, these were crucial resistance levels on the upside as far as this monthly expiry was concerned, and closing above those clearly opens the gates for 17,750 on the initial basis, and that would be my intraday target, and it's trading at around 17,700 right now. And if it managed to close above 17,750, maybe now or maybe in the later part of the day during the expiry, then I would say that it is likely to inch towards 17,850 as well. So overall view is bullish as far as short-term trading is concerned, and one can place a stop loss below the levels of 17,600 and initiate long positions on the index, because I believe that from here on we can see some good levels on the upside. As far as stocks are concerned, Mangalam, I would say that I have two buy recommendations right now. The first buy recommendation is on United Spirits. I mean, in this stock we have seen a good reversal coming in today's trading session with a very good increase in its volumes. So I have a buy recommendation on its next series futures. One can buy United Spirits futures, September futures at 828. That's the current market price, placing a stop loss at the levels of 802, and one can target 870 as far as September series is concerned. So this stock is likely to inch towards the levels of 870. There is no resistance as far as United Spirits is concerned, at least in the short term. The second buy recommendation is on Canara Bank. I mean, banking names are doing good, and among the PSUs, I like SBI, but then the second stock which is doing quite well is Canara Bank. This stock is likely to inch towards the levels of 253. So one can buy September futures for a target of 253 on the upside, and one can place a stop loss around the levels of 236.
Okay, all right, Jay, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking to us, giving us all of those technical picks. Let's get in some market opinion then. We caught up with Sridhar Sivaram of Enam Holdings earlier today to discuss his take on inflation as well as the banking sector. Listen in.
Our broad view is that the construct for India is looking great. I mean, inflation, we think for the month itself will come around 6, and it is trending lower. GDP growth looks like it's trending upwards. Consumption is looking as if it's coming back. But when we look at the global construct, it just doesn't look that great. I mean, it will be very difficult for India to move in isolation. So if there is issues globally, we will face the brunt. So I would say that this is more a buy and dips market. You have to be very careful when there is irrational exuberance. Broadly, the value guys are on top, and growth is suffering. But our view in the last 2-3 months is that it's time to slowly get into growth. And the first of the block, at least that's our view, is the financials, which is the banks. See, the private sector banks have really come out very well. The credit costs have actually normalized much faster than anybody would have anticipated. We think that the next 5 years is going to be great for large banks. Any bank which can access liabilities, that's going to be the crux. That if you are able to access CASA and your deposit cost is reasonable, then I think those banks will do well.
Okay, he's going very big on banks. They're extremely bullish across the board, private and public. Let's do one thing. Let's take a quick commercial break. On the other side of the break, we'll connect with P.S. Patel, who is the Chairman and Managing Director of PSP Project.